name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. We thank you all for joining us today, taking time out of your busy schedules to join us on our podcast, Let Us Make Man. Tonight, we are discussing marriage, courtship, our relationship etiquette. There's so much to learn about relationships. We always have shows to help strengthen the bond that we have in our relationships. So please share this show. Log on, get your pens and pads, get your notepads, bring your family in. We're going to go deep tonight. We're going to go deep tonight. I'm your brother, one of the Jock brothers. I'm your brother Ahmed. We're going to start by introducing our co-host like we always do. Let me start with our first co-host, my brother. He's a mentor. He's a father. He's an inspiration to many. One of my brothers, a top soldier, Brother Kawi Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Jock Brothers Presents Let Us Make Man. I have a much admired host on today. It's going to be fun. Thank you for tuning in. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, sir. And next, my brother, he's also a father, a mentor, a friend, a motivator of men, a top soldier, entrepreneur.
More.
He wears so many hats.
More, man.
You in his back pocket. Please let me introduce my friend, our brother, Brother Jackie Muhammad.
Give me more, Jock Nation. Give me more, Jock Nation. I need to feel your energy. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We have a wonderful show. We want to talk about our culture, which is getting one of these, becoming a family. And we know that family is the cornerstone of our nation. So we want to preserve the family. We want to increase the family. We want to extend ourselves into the future. So this is a show that is very near and dear to us in the nation and throughout the nation. So we want to end this 50% divorce rate, and we want to just talk about ways where we can extend our family. So thank you, Jock Nation, for joining us tonight. We're asking you to like and share our video. Please share it on your platform. We ask that you continue to support our podcast. We got to get our engineer on deck. Our engineer on deck. We want to support that Cash App, $ Jock Bros, because we still have our initiative going on, the prison initiative, to get the baddest and the boldest newspaper, the final call, behind the walls of our enemy. So we definitely need your support, Jock Nation. And we definitely need if you have anyone that you desire for us to send the information, the final calls to, definitely send that information to this email address, jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com. We need all the names of those who are locked up, brothers or sisters or juveniles. Definitely, we want all the names. And if you can get information on the chaplain in that prison, let us know what the prison, let us know the chaplain name, any information you can get us to make it easy for us. Definitely put everything in this email address, jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com. Thank you, Jock Nation, for joining us once again. Back to you, Ahmed.
Thank you, Brother Jackie. And your check will be in the mail.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. Let's get started. As you can see, I introduced all of my co-hosts. The next brother you see on the screen is our great guest tonight. He's born in Brooklyn, New York. He's the son of the great country of Haiti. He grew up in the island nation until the age of 15. He became a registered member of the Nation of Islam on February 10th, 1993 in Los Angeles, California. He became a student minister of Phoenix, Arizona, October 7th, 2001. After that devastating earthquake hit the country of Haiti in 2010, he took part in a delegation in August of 2011 to go to Haiti to oversee the installation of a water purification solar panel system that was gifted by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam for the benefit of the Voodoo, Christian, and Muslim communities on the island of Haiti. In 2013, he became the student minister over Muhammad Mosque number 29 in Miami. And later, in December 2014, he became the 7th regional representative of the Nation of Islam, which covers the state of Florida, the Caribbean, Central and South America, and Mexico. This brother has been married to his wife since 1998, and he is the father of 6 children and a grandfather. He provides marriage counsel and has spoken in numerous platforms on these topics and subjects. Please welcome, with a thunderous Jock Brothers round of applause, our brother, your brother, student minister Patrick Muhammad.
All praise is due to Allah. All praise due to Allah. Thank you. All praise due to Allah. Brother Jack Brothers.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for it. It's a pleasure to be on your show. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I thank Allah who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. I bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is his divine risen exalted Christ. And I further bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the Messiah of Allah's Christ. I'd like to greet all my brothers and all those who are watching and listening in the greeting words of peace, of Assalamu alaikum. Wow. And I am happy to be with my brothers. I know y'all been tracking me down, but you got a hold of me and I'm in now.
Yes, sir.
It's an honor and a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you for accepting our invitation, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Let me start by after this introduction, could you give a brief explanation on exactly what qualifies you in the arena of relationships and courting and marriage and community?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm qualified. I'm a student. I'm a student in the process. I'm actually in the classroom. I have yet to graduate. That's way down the line when Allah sees fit, you know. At the same time, I'm just very thankful to Almighty God, Allah, to be on this journey, you know, this Hajj, this pilgrimage of a family. If it were not for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, from the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, striving to practice them, you know, and I wouldn't even be here. I would not be talking about being a husband, being a father, none of that, you know. I was telling some brothers yesterday, sometimes we say, oh, you know, that's a good brother. You know, that brother's a good husband. And I said, oh, well, stop for a minute. If you, per the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, if you really want to find out if a brother is a good husband, ask his wife.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to find out if he's a good father, ask his children. Yes, so it's not for me to speak. That would have to be for my wife to determine if I'm a good husband, and my children to determine if I'm a good father. All I could do is that I'm striving. I would say that I thank Allah for experience as well. You know, I thank Allah for the foundation of spirituality. That is very, very important. And experience as well. And speaking of experience, I would say my little experience would be the fact that in the nation right now, we also have what is called blended families. You know, and as blended families, we find brothers and sisters who are married before. That didn't work out for whatever reason. Children are involved. And then some brothers and sisters got remarried. And now that becomes a blended family because maybe the other brother, the other sister also had children. My family is a blended family by Allah's grace and mercy. I thank Allah for that. I'm learning a lot in that relationship, you know, from the time children were very young. I think a lot from my wife and putting up with me to watch me grow, you know, because like many of us, you know, as men, I didn't grow up with a father in the household. And sometimes that imbalance causes a lot as we go into relationship. Then there's a painful experience. So I would say in the process of qualification is what I would say is the experience in the years of what I have learned thus far as I strive to be a student in these magnificent teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad under the divine leadership of the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what would you say to brothers and sisters that are courting, that are not in a relationship, that are in marriages, that are happy or may not be happy? What do you say to them when you counsel them of the importance of marriage in our community, in our nation?
From the Holy Quran and in Islam, we're taught that marriage is half of our faith. And that's a question that we have to really ponder over. I mean, in our teachings, we're taught that Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam. So for us, that we're being told that marriage is half of our faith, that's 50%.
Mm.
So a brother and sister can say, you know, I'm very faithful, or he's very faithful and she's very faithful. But let's say that that person is just single for a long time and not making the effort to find and even search for a better half.
Yes,
I said
sir.
search. I don't say jump in, you know, search. So when it comes to marriage, you know, the marriage couples at times that we're blessed to talk with, sometimes it's myself, other times my wife and I together with the couple. One of the main questions that is always the spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes when we have problems in marriages, one of the questions that I ask often is, when was the last time that you all prayed together?
Mm.
And I'll find out in marriage counseling sessions that you have some. I remember one couple, they were married for like 10, 15 years, and they were having some problems. And then I asked the question, you know, when was the last time you all prayed together? And they said at the beginning of the marriage. I said, well, when you said the beginning, like 2 years into the marriage or 3 years? And then they say, yeah, about 2-3 years into the marriage, and then they stop praying together.
Mm.
So now what we're doing is establishing the foundation to see where the problem lies. You know, we have what is called our Supreme Wisdom Lessons, and we're given the problem book. But the best part about it is for us to figure out the solution. And just like the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when he sent him to New York, he says, I sent you over there to teach the believers how to solve their own problem in a mathematical way.
Mm.
So if we're not getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, or sometimes people have odd schedules, you're not going to say prayer all the time, but you mean we're in a 15-year marriage, and for 13 years, we stopped praying together.
Mm.
And we're trying to figure out where the problem lies.
Right.
Well, we got a communication problem. Yeah, starting with Allah.
Yes,
That's what, you know. So there's some of the foundational things. When it comes to courtship, I do tell in particular brothers that I speak with often, I'll say that, you know, brothers, you know, have you ever thought about in the Holy Quran in chapter 40, which is entitled The Believer?
Mm.
Verse 60 says this, and your Lord says, pray to me, I will answer you. And those who disdain my service will surely enter hell abased. And I ask the brothers, Now, how long you been single? So it might be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years plus. I said, when was the last time you prayed to Allah and asked Allah to send you the right MGT for you?
Mm.
Mm.
Most of the brothers said, I never even thought about asking for that. And likewise for sisters too, you know. And there comes the patient part. Courtship is a process of learning. I mean, just because we say we believe, that doesn't mean that our chemistry is going to match.
Right.
You know, it just so happened. I remember my wife and I, when we were in the process of getting into the marriage. And as the minister teaches us, you know, sisters, he said, you want to make sure that you speak with, if the ex-wife is around, available or whatnot, you know, ask, you know, how was this brother? Ask the parents, you know. I had one of those meetings.
Yes, sir.
Well, my wife today, her and I were sitting there and we met with my ex-wife and all kind of questions. I just sat there quiet, you know. And I remember this. I remember towards the end, my ex-wife looked at us and she told my wife today, "You the right one for him. You all are meant to be with one another."
Wow.
Yeah, y'all look just alike.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. You know, we grow. You know,
Yes,
people
sir.
thought that. I used to have people hit on my wife and say like, "Hey, bro, I just want to, see if I could holler at you." I said, "Hold on, soldier." I mean, people in the community, you know, it's my wife, man. Oh man, my bad. I thought that was your sister, you know. But there's a lot of different principles for those entering into a courtship, for those that are into a marriage. This is a journey. Recently, my wife put a post on social media, Facebook, about, she was just reflecting about marriage, the moments, the not so moment. I wonder if we meant to be the laughing moment. And she was talking about just various moments. And I was like, you hit it on the nail. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not always peaches and cream, because all of us are also growing.
Yes.
So one of the last thing I'll say on this, dear brothers, is that I am very, what's the word I want to use here? I'm very strong now on the thing when it comes to marriage. We need to do a mental evaluation.
Mm.
We really do.
Mm.
We really, really need to do that.
Of each other?
Yeah. What would that? What do you mean? Do you mean like professional help? Maybe.
Well, not necessarily professional help in that sense. You know, the minister gave us a tool
Okay.
to use, you know, and we need to use that tool for ourselves, and we need to also use that tool and see that are both brothers and sisters using that tool that the minister gave us in the process of us coming together. Because what we have is we have a lot of painful experiences that we're bringing into this relationship or tentative relationship. You know, it might be anything that triggers us. And all of a sudden, you know, I'm looking at my wife, but something she said, or the way she walked, or the way she sat, whatever, unbeknown to her, it triggers something in the previous relationship that I had that's painful. And I'm thinking that she's like my ex. And she looking at me, brother, what's wrong with you? Or the other way around. So I really think that we need to do that. And I really think that our foundations on prayers, our foundation on studies, even communing with nature, meditation, stuff like that, you know. My wife is a very strong advocate for meditation. Very, very strong advocate, you know. And so what investments, even in a marriage, are we making for ourselves? If there's something that is manifested out of us, do we really want to face it, as far as looking to see what's the root of that problem. And sometimes we could even, it could carry on in having children. And then we're talking very harsh to the children. And in the back of our mind, we're like, why am I talking like this? I don't understand. And come to find out, it's a painful experience that this man had when he was young, based on, let's say, a mother's boyfriend used to talk to him the same way. So now he's talking to his children like that.
Right.
So the mental part is very, very critical, especially in this day and time. People are snapping just like that. Any given thing, people are snapping. And so we have to really put the self-improvement, the basis for community development that the minister has given us through the study guides, through self-examination, self-analysis, self-correction, and the quickening of the self-accusing spirit. We in that time, and we got to move right away.
That's right, brother.
And if we don't do that, it'll be failing families, failing marriages, and we don't even want to attempt courtship and whatnot. No, it's a lot. It's a lot.
So Ms. Patrick, so you had the honor of hosting this year's Single Social retreat. In your own words, can you tell us what that experience was like for you, and maybe some things that you think could improve on more couples meeting each other and possibly getting into courtship?
I was, fascinated with this, the social. I thank Allah, and we thank Allah so much for Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia in putting this together. I have to say, the way that they got this thing together, every moment of my observation during the seminars and everything else, I just had goosebumps. And I was really, in truth, the whole thing fed the whole spirit into Sunday. I was really feeding from what they did, the way they handled things, the way everyone was responding. I watched people be kind of at the distance the first day. And then after that, we kind of started being a little bit more relaxed, participating, having skits on the teachings and relationship. And this was like, to me, how the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, there's 3 sciences that the enemy would not teach us. The science of business, the science of mating, the science of warfare. This science of mating, the way this was presented by Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia, was magnificent.
That's right.
And I have to say that it rejuvenated my spirit in the sense of, thank you, Allah, for bringing us our brother and sister to really move this throughout our nation, to help put into action the desire of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in wanting to see successful marriages.
Right.
So now we have marriage seminars. Now we have, single social, and what came out of it, we got a few courtships in action, from what I understand, that manifested as a result of that. But I was elated. Was it easy to put together? Absolutely not. If there's one thing of improvement that comes to mind that I think we will do, is I was observing some of our younger brothers and sisters, and I saw like a facial expression as if they were not quite comfortable. And I like to inquire. So I went to them and I said, what are your thoughts, what you think about it? And what I saw that there was, in the future, Allah willing, that we could put this together, and I want to support it wherever it could be, is the age bracket. Because we had kind of like a lot of ages together, but there were some that were there, they were probably up to the age 35. But there were others that were there in their 40s and 50s. So next time, if it be the will of Allah, spoke with Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia about that we could put it together to where we could do different age brackets. So that's one of the things I think that we could do better and different next time, inshallah, God willing.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. Now, from your view of things, as you were conducting and assisting in that retreat, what do you see, or how do you explain to single believers or married believers in strengthening, how to strengthen their relationship, how to make a strong relationship?
Well, definitely, again, it comes back to the basics, spirituality. And when we say spirituality, I would just advise everyone, go into the book Teachings 2.0. I believe it is on page 50, if I'm not mistaken. Well, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was asked the question, what is the difference between religion and spirituality? The answer that the minister gave was just out of this world in dealing with our nature. So now that's part of spirituality, dealing with our nature coming from Allah. So from our nature now, man has a nature. Woman has a nature. And Allah says that man and woman, we are to complement one another. So we're starting from the spiritual base, and then we have to study one another, complement one another. But if the mind is not in the right state of mind, then we're not going to be doing that. So I think that the first thing has to be that. Then furthermore, especially when you're dealing with courtship or tentative courtship and into the marriage, there are certain subject matters that must be discussed. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us as far as brothers are concerned, he gives us a formula on how to be better maintainers to our wives. He calls it the proper order of maintenance. He names 5 things or 5 principles. 1, spiritual. So which means as a man, if I'm in a marriage, I have to learn, which means I have to stay connected to the God, the creator of the heavens and the earth, so that I could learn how to maintain my wife spiritually. It's the first thing the minister mentioned. The second thing the minister mentioned is maintaining her intellectually. The third thing he mentions is to maintain her emotionally. The fourth thing that he mentions is to maintain her physically, her well-being. And the fifth one that he mentioned is finance. And he said, when we do these things, she in return will give us comfort, peace of mind, etc., etc. The heaven that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, that's in the woman. So these are the things that we must not get away from. In that order, these are the things to discuss. And every single one of them is a realm of itself. Spirituality is into eons of time.
Right.
What if we get into a relationship and then, yeah, at the beginning of spirituality, everything was fine. And then along the years to come, let's say that there's a brother and sister, and the sister, the woman, one day Allah manifests a certain type of gift that she has in the sense of seeing. I don't mean with the eyes. I mean with the mind. How do we complement her?
Right.
Most women who are spiritual, a lot of women are seers. Look at our mama in them, our grandma in them.
Right.
So there is a divine connection on the spiritual realm, on the mental and the emotion. You know, sometimes you'll find a lot of women are a bit quite more emotional about things. Well, how do we as men handle that? And how am I going to learn how to handle that if I'm not studying first myself?
Mm-hmm.
So all of this process, I would say, dear brothers, are those 5 things that we must study, learn how to practice, and put into action. Spirituality, intellectuality, emotional, physical, and finance.
Praise be to Allah. I'm glad you hit it again because I was going to ask you to run them down one more time.
Yes, sir. This is from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. And oh, Carl, you look like you're going to say something?
Oh, sir.
Okay. And in that, so in strengthening that relationship in those aspects, now we have communication. And a lot of times relationships just don't go right. And it's based on communication. We all come from different walks of life. We all have different understandings. How can we strengthen our communication?
That's a beautiful question, beloved.
It is.
First thing we need to do is we need to study the science of communication. Because a lot of time we say communication, but what is communication? Okay, so I call you, Brother Ahmed, or Brother Kawi, or Brother Jackie, and I left each one of you a message. And I tell somebody else, you know, I communicated with those brothers. No, I did not.
Right.
Once you give me a feedback,
then there's communication. Come
then
on.
there's a communication.
Teach the science, sir.
From point A to point B. Then from point A to point B, between point A and point B, there's a distance. I say to my wife, Assalamu alaikum, dear. And she says, she nodded.
Right.
Did she communicate? Well, she kind of gave me an acknowledgement, but she didn't really reply back.
Right.
So when we're dealing with communication, we have to understand brother A, sister B, and how the words that are going to the next person and then in reverse. One of the things about communication is that even sometimes when there's an issue between a couple, male and female, and someone's, okay, well, let's talk. So the man is sitting and the woman is talking, but the whole time in his mind, he's processing how he's going to defend every single thing she's saying.
Right.
So which means he's not listening. So what is the difference between hearing and listening? Is listening part of communication? Absolutely. So there's a lot that we have to learn. And when I say the science of communication, now we go back to the second point of what the minister talked about in the proper order of maintenance. That's mental. Because if I'm already on the defense tip, it's a mental thing. Now I got to figure out, why am I so defensive? So a lot of the times, you know, if I'm not listening or if she's not listening, we're not even communicating. I read somewhere in dealing with science of communication, it says, when you in doubt, communicate.
Right.
I'm going to say that again.
Yes, sir.
When you're in doubt, communicate.
When you in doubt, communicate. Man, so here I am, I'm at home. Man, I wonder why she do this, and I wonder why, man, I wonder, you know, all these conversations in my head. But I didn't communicate to where I asked your question. Listen, dear, such and such and such, and then wait for the answer. Because now when the answer comes, maybe the whole thing that I had in my mind was way off.
Right.
So I was doubting her. I was doubting that she was, with me on this point. So there's a lot but that's actually a plethora of a study into communication and learning how to communicate. And I'm a very firm believer that if a man and woman are spiritual human beings, brothers and sisters, we both claim we're spiritual, we both claim we're striving to be Muslims, we both claim we're trying. If the both of us do not come together and communicate to the creator of the heavens and the earth, there's no way you're going to have good communication with each other. I mean, in all of my findings thus far, that's what I see.
Yes, sir. So when she says we need to talk, I mean we need to come home early and face the music.
But sometimes I'm gonna be real with you. You know, my wife's probably gonna remember this. Just to show you something, I remember one time there was an issue that needed to be discussed between my wife and I, right? And she says, we need to talk. Listen to the word. We need to talk. Now you see the first pronoun, right?
Yeah.
We. Okay. So I said, all right. So we got in the car. We went somewhere far, and I mean like a good hour. And she said, she's talking about the family issue that was at hand. So she's saying in this, that. She's talking about the way she felt and everything else, etc. So a good hour passed. By that time, we arrived to our destination, which was our home. I parked. I sat there. But this time, I decided to test myself. I said, I'm going to try something. I'm going to really try to practice listening. And by Allah's grace and mercy, I did it that day. I don't do it all the time, but that's what I did. Okay? And at the end, I wanted to say something, and then another thought said, say thank you. So she finished, and I said, thank you. And then so she was like, okay, that's it. And then so I said, all right. So I got out of the car, went around to open her door. When I opened the door, she gave me a big hug. I'll never forget it. She said to me, oh, we had a very good conversation. In my mind, I was like, we nothing.
we.
But the thing was, what she was saying is, thank you for listening.
Right.
Thank you for allowing me to express myself, my feelings, even though it's about you. Thank you for listening. And she gave me a hug, and I mean a long hug. We was out, in front of our yard, and I remember I went back home. I was like, that's deep.
Yes.
But the Patrick, you need to practice this more often. You need to deal with your P's and Q's. So when we're talking about that, it started showing me about listening. See, you could be listening to me right now, and I'm talking. And as I'm talking, wherever you live, you heard a motorcycle go by. You heard a helicopter go by. You heard a siren go by. But you're still listening to me. So you're listening to what I'm saying to comprehend it, but at the same time, you're hearing other sounds. Yes, so we have to learn to understand the difference of listening, even when we're listening to our mates and our spouses, and she could be saying something, but it might be because she's hurt. It might be because he's hurt. And a lot of time we lose our sensitivity towards each other because really, in truth, we're not really connected to the Creator and ourselves the way we need to be.
Mm.
And it has to do, what is your state of mind?
Right.
That's what I would say.
And that state of mind, is that also dealing with emotion? That state of mind, is it just dealing with mental? Is it dealing with emotions as well?
Absolutely. I mean, let's be real. You have some women, those of us who are married and whatnot, and we know it, we grew up in the household, whatever. The woman goes through a cycle every 28 days. She has emotions. How do we handle her during those days of mood changes?
Mm.
Now, if I'm a scientist and I am to be a maintainer, and the minister's teaching us the proper order of maintenance, and he says emotionally, what is the science of emotions?
That's a great.
I mean, I'm in Florida. We just entered the hurricane season. They say hurricane season is from June 1st till November. That's what they say. Every year is the same thing.
Mm.
So after November, as someone to prepare, I will start preparing for the next season. Man, we got to get ready. You got to do this. Okay, because we know what's coming.
Right. Come on.
So now we're in a relationship with our spouses and whatnot. We know every 28 days what's about to happen.
Mm.
We can see into the future, brothers.
Right.
What's about to happen.
Teach.
So could it be that I got to study her cycle and there's a mood change going on? We're taught from the teachings, it's connected even with the moon and the earth.
Mm.
In advance, do I start giving her flowers?
Come on.
In advance, do I just keep giving her a lot of hugs and all that because I know it's coming? So I'm making an investment into this emotions coming, and then she can't wait till I get to the house to complain about I left my shoes at the door. Anything is gonna irritate her. Any kind of habit. But can you imagine I come with a bouquet of roses and whatnot? She was like, golly, I wanted to fuss with him. But he done got to my emotions.
Mm.
So there's a lot of things that we have to study. And in a relationship, what I'm learning over the years, and we are striving to practice, is that a lot of times when one of us is very upset, somebody has to take the low role, man.
Yeah. Definitely.
And we as men, we have bruised egos.
Mm.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing. What's that mindset right there? Where'd that come from?
Ego.
Somebody said, do you know who I am? See, I ain't never playing around like that. Is that you talking, Brother Patrick? Or is that someone else's personality where you were raised?
Mm-hmm.
We carrying multiple personalities with us in the ranks as brothers and don't even realize it. So it's not the real me. It's not the real her. It's not the real us. So we have to really confront this. I was talking the other day and I said, have you ever seen the 12 steps they talk about in the AA program? They said the first thing is to admit. And a lot of us don't want to admit that there are things that we need help with. And if we don't admit it, it's an impediment. And as a result, it becomes spiritual death, mental death, emotional death, physical death, society death, financial death, because we're not admitting it. By just admitting it is a process to wake up. and look at self. So these are some of the things that, I would say, in light of that. And I told some brothers yesterday, I said, listen, one brother came to the mosque, and a new brother, he was like, and I got problem with my girlfriend, and girlfriend this, and some people say, well, she don't want to come in and whatnot. I say, hold tight, hold tight. Just time out.
Mm-hmm.
She knew you and I as a so-called Negro for more years than we've been in this.
Mm.
So we have to demonstrate
That's right.
we're changed people.
There you go. That's the right.
And that sister, and I have to say for our sister, sometime I was just reflecting the other day, the pain that the minister is in because of the things that have happened to a lot of our sisters. The teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that there is no such thing as a no good woman. Wherever we find a no good woman, we can find a no good man who made her that way. That's real. So now, how do we handle that woman who has been hurt, who has been damaged? How much sensitivity do we apply in the process to help maintain her spiritually, mentally, and the rest that the minister gave us? So we have a lot on our plate. But guess what? That doesn't mean a brother should run away from getting into a marriage. Oh, I ain't going to go into a marriage. This is too crazy. Brother, have you looked in the mirror lately? How sane are we?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We're just freestyling right now. If it could be, I couldn't be staying single for a long time.
Right.
I'm not talking about sexual things. I'm just talking about having a mate, having someone to talk to. I love my wife. We can talk. We can have conversation. We joke and everything else. That's my friend. You see what I'm saying? And I can bring the best out of her. She can bring the best out of me. It's vice versa.
Mm.
Do we want to go? I mean, we in the ranks. We know these teachings talking about. I've never met Brother Monk Muhammad. And that's why I say, brothers, if we're just like that for a long time, we're handicapped.
Mm.
It doesn't mean we rush into things.
Right.
Understanding standards and being settled and whatnot. We don't just settle for anything. Do not ignore the signs. If you see this cloudy out there, it's not magic that it's going to rain. So there's signs of things that we have to observe for. The beauty of what I saw in my wife, though I'm not perfect, though she's not perfect, the beauty when I met her that I saw in my wife is that I admired how she was always at the mosque. She was always in an MGT class. She was always dressed civilized. The children were clean. I said, that's for me right there.
Yes.
I didn't tell nobody else, but in my mind, the Quran said you can just keep it in your head. So there are many things that we must do, and we got to go back to the old time religion.
Right.
We do. We like scientists in a lab experimenting with chemicals. It blows up. Boom. The whole lab blew up. We go back in the lab again next week and put the same chemicals together.
Mm.
Keep burning up. After a while, somebody got to change the chemicals.
Yes,
we
sir.
got to read of the things that go together and don't go together. Those
Right. Science.
are some of the things, that I would say on that note.
Yes, sir. We have two believers that was attended that retreat in Florida. We wanted to bring them in, especially I wanted to bring the sister in because I didn't want to keep this so one side. She may have a question or two, but I wanted to bring them in if that was okay, brother.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Well, let's bring our guests in. We have our sister Regina out of Mosque number 7C I'm talking about number 7, right? Sorry.
7C.
7C. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. 7C. And we have Brother Kadir Muhammad. We wanted to bring him in. Okay. Praise be to Allah. All right. So, sister, did you have any questions? I know you attended the retreat, and right now you're the only sister on the board representing. So, did you have any questions? Because I don't want this to be a kind of a male-driven platform. So, did you have anything that you was thinking of?
Well, assalamu alaikum.
Well,
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his messenger. All praises due to Allah. I'm so grateful to be here. All praise is truly due to Allah.
Thank you.
The questions, I was just sitting here taking notes as Brother Minister Patrick was speaking. The retreat was wonderful, and just listening to Minister Patrick just go into so much about the teachings that the minister has talked about, that he has spoken with the FOI, and I was just smiling to myself because absolutely everything was so correct about the spiritual, the emotional, the intellectual. Everything was just so, because I just smiled at that, and I'm just so grateful that the FOI are learning so much, so that we, the MGT, can be taken care of, and in turn give heaven to the FOI.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be.
Oh,
Heaven,
praise.
Ahmed, you heard that? Heaven, brother.
May I say something of observation, if you will?
Yes, sir.
After what our sister just said, notice that right under her name on the screen, she has her name, and then it says the Holy Quran 30 and 30. Is that the 30th chapter in the 30th verse, or does that mean something else?
Oh, yes, sir. I happen to facilitate a Quranic reading every morning, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard. And we are 2 years old in that. So we go through the Holy Quran every single month. We complete 30 parts in 30 days every month. And so this is something that Allah gave to me 2 years ago. And by Allah's permission, we are still going strong.
Oh, praise it to Allah. One thing that comes to mind, I mean, we just learned something right now. But see, that's just being inquisitive. I saw Holy Quran and whatnot. And the thing that came to my mind when I saw 30 and 30, I thought it meant the 30th chapter in the 30th verse, because it just so happened with what you're doing, sister, starting with spirituality, what we're talking about, in the 30th surah or chapter of the Holy Quran, which is called the Romans, the 30th verse, since I saw 30, that section talks about an appeal for human nature. And in that verse, in the 30th verse, not quoting all of the words, verbatim, Allah says, and set thy face for religion, being upright. The nature made by Allah, which he has created man, etc., etc. So here, this is what we're talking about: nature. And here's Allah telling us what our nature is. And to have this a program as such that Allah bless our sister to do, it is showing this is the kind of conversations that we need to be engaged into to have eventually spiritual matrimony.
Mm.
Mm.
Which level we as brothers and sisters are meeting on. The minister talks about, in Closing the Gap, the art of conversation. So it goes back again to number one of spirituality. And this call that you have, sister, to cover the Holy Quran during that time frame, that's what we need to get back to. Our spirituality. It says a family that prays together stays together.
Come on.
What if it's only the brother who's praying? Is that family gonna stay together?
Right.
They're not on the same frequency. What if it's just the sister who's praying? They're gonna stay together. So again, now this is spiritual communication. We're taught from the teachings, to nurse from the Holy Quran. What if we were to do a survey and ask brothers and sisters, when was the last time you read the Holy Quran after the month of Ramadan?
Uh-oh.
We ain't gonna raise our hands. But see, so gaps are developing within relationships or potential relationships because you have brothers who are spirituals, sisters who are not. Sisters who are spirituals, brothers who are not. So when you go into a courtship, you got to ask certain questions to see what kind of level of frequency can I be on to talk. I mean, what you put on the screen, sister, just sparked this conversation for all of us as brothers and sisters in the ranks. We got to be able to have spiritual conversations. The teachings, the universe.
Right.
My wife, I've always called my wife, what I be calling her, free-spirited. Y'all ever see those birds that just fly everywhere?
Yes.
That's my wife. We could move somewhere and we're in the vicinity. I'm the kind of person, I'll look around, but my wife will find things very quick. That's her personality. And each one of us, what is real to us is real to us. But we have to have this communication, back to your question, Brother Ahmed, since if we're going to communicate and talk inside of a courtship, you in the courtship for a month, or you're in a conversation for 8 hours, and the brother, sister never even said God or Allah in it.
Whoa. Right. Check that.
That's a sign.
That's a sign. Come on, man.
You have to have your own notebook. Say, wow, I've been talking with this brother here, and I've been talking with this sister for so long. I haven't heard nothing. We were both in the nation, nothing from the teachings, nothing from this. Everything coming out his mouth is basketball. Did you see the boxing? Man, I got to work long hours. We just entered the courtship.
Right.
Just talking. Let me tell you something, brother. Yeah, because I just like to have my nails get done right. My hair got to be straight. Yeah, brother. 2 weeks later, it's like, golly, dude. Y'all feel what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir. 100%.
You have to be real, but start with the spirituality. So thank you, sister, for answering that question. It was just inquisitive that I saw it on the screen. We have to be on that. One day, it wasn't that too long ago, my wife and I, she was like, I told you she's very spontaneous. She was like, come on, honey, let's go. We had to do something. Come on, let's go. And I was like, where are we going? Because I wanted to go to the gym. A lot of time, she's a gym person. I'm a gym person, but she goes a lot. And she's like, let's go to the gym. I said, okay, I'm getting ready to go in the car. She was like, no, let's walk to the gym. I said, oh, there you go with that spontaneous stuff.
Right.
And I was like, okay, we're gonna walk. So we got ready and everything. So I pull up the distance, and it was like 3.5 miles to go to the gym and 3.5 miles to come back. So we're talking about 7 miles. So we start walking in that hot sun Florida. This is not too long ago.
Mm.
Do you know that there was a special bond? Now I'm talking about we're going on 25 years of marriage. There was a special bond that came over us. We were talking about the teachings. We were talking about life. We were talking about nature. We're talking about the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the God creating himself out of triple darkness. I mean, we talk all the way.
Mm.
Is that communication?
Right.
I listened to her. She listened to me. It was hot as hell, though, but we still listening to one another. We had fun. And by the time we were getting back to our destination, I was like, look, my wife's name is Sister Elia. I said, Elia, I'm going to stop talking because them feet are hurting. But we just had a very good time. We stopped and got some smoothies together and just kept walking back. You got to do things. We act like sometimes we like just always robotic.
Mm.
The minister says in Torchlight for America, commune with nature.
Right.
Have fun out there. So, but the spirituality, that's the base.
Yes, sir.
I had to say that.
Thank you, bro. It's 8:00, and if you would bear with us, we take a small break. We're going to speak and introduce some of our sponsors. But before we go there, I just wanted to reintroduce our brother Kadir, our single brother Kadir, who was at the singles retreat. He's a scientist. He's a soldier. And for sisters, he's a chef, a bona fide chef. So I just wanted to let y'all know, because when we come back, he's gonna speak a little about his experience at the event. But go ahead, brother Jackie. Let's go into
He's rich too, right, brother?
and he's a soldier, Muhammad Mosque number 15, under our regional minister Abdul Sharif Muhammad. But we're gonna save that for later. Go ahead,
he's rich too, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Praise be to Allah. We want to thank you, Jock Nation, for tuning in once again. We want to thank our guests, our panelists, giving us a wonderful talk today. We want to implore you to, if you have any questions, please ask your questions. Please type them in. We can receive them by Facebook and by YouTube. So once again, as Brother Ahmed mentioned, we want to point out our sponsors. First of all, it's you, Jock Nation. We want to thank you for donating to the Cash App at Jock Bros, $ Jock Bros. We want to thank you for your constant donation, your constant support. But we want to talk about the sponsorship. We're going to start with our realtor. We have our on-site realtor, Brother Kawi Muhammad. I don't see the if the engineer can show the screen, because I don't see it. There we go. All right, we have our brother Kawi. If you're interested in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the United States, our brother you can inquire with our brother and he can help you. So our brother Kawi Muhammad, he's a realtor. You can reach him at 404-671-5681. He can definitely address all your real estate needs, commercial and residential. Let's go to our second sponsor. Let's go to our brother Ahmed Bi. He's an author. Not only is he rich, not only is he a philanthropist, but he's an author. So if you would like to support our brother, go to www.bipublishing.com or go to Amazon and order Bilal and the Bullies. I read it myself. I thoroughly enjoyed it myself. So definitely we want to support our brother Bilal and the Bullies. Part 2 coming soon, but right now we want to support what he has right now. And our third sponsor, Supreme Waste Removal. This is my family's company, by Allah's grace and mercy. We have a sanitation company, dumpster. If you need any dumpster service in the Atlanta metro area, we can service you from Gwinnett County, Henry County, Covington, Social Circle, Mableton. We go all over. So if you have any dumpster needs in the Atlanta metro area, 20-yarder, 30-yarders, and 40-yarders, and now compactors. So we also have some compactors that we are about to install in some of the stores. So definitely, if you have any needs that needs to be addressed, Supreme Waste Removal. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow, you did that beautifully, brother. That's your job right there, man. Going forward.
As long as that check keep coming, keep that check coming. Keep that check coming, brothers.
And so we had a singles.
Okay.
It's so important that we find out and stay tuned with the retreats that are coming up, marriage retreats, single retreats. We join together with our student ministers and different facilitators, and we share knowledge, information, and wisdom about our relationships and how to strengthen them, acknowledging each other and helping each other and growing in our community. We wanted to just give the floor to our brother Kadir, give his experience at this retreat that we had recently. Brother Kadir?
I think this was like the second time. Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Okay. Okay. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Got a chance to interact with believers from all over the country. I think one of the things we need to do, and the Minister Farrakhan has said this plenty of times, is that we should have those types of events more often so the single believers can interact with one another. Me and Brother Kawi, we was coming to going to one of the restaurants, and we had some of the sisters in the car with us, and we was asking everybody where they was from. And there was a sister in the car said she was from Atlanta. And me and Brother Kai, we were like, well, we from Atlanta. We never even seen you before, So that just goes to show we need to start having those types of events locally on a regular basis. One of the things that I notice oftentimes when we get together in these singles events, it's almost like we go back into mosque form where all the brothers congregate with one another and the sisters congregate with one another. And I know for me, it was awkward because there were some sisters I kind of wanted to say something to, but they all crowded up together and I didn't want to just go up and just single out one, But like I said, I enjoyed myself. I really did.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah.
Do you have a question for Student Minister Patrick?
Well, one of the questions we was talking about amongst ourselves is that we now live in the social media age. And one of the things in the courtship manual says that we shouldn't be advised to go into courtship with a complete stranger. But so if you have a situation where you see a sister or brother on social media, how are we supposed to interact with them in a righteous manner without going outside the lines? If you were a single brother and you saw a sister on Facebook and you know she was single, how would you handle that situation?
Very good question. The first thing is that comes to mind is structure. Whenever we live, breathe, think, act, the structure that Allah has given to us will be fine. The moment that we depart from the structure, chaos.
Mm.
If you look at the word departure, departure has like the first three definitions, I believe. One of them pertains to traveling from one point to another, etc., etc. But I think the third definition says that it is when a person deviates from certain goals of conduct. So there's different departure. We're talking about the minister's departure when there's a lot of us who have already departed from the standards that we have. So if I was a single brother and I saw a sister that I wasn't fitting to, I could politely ask, after giving the greeting, etc., sister, what city are you in? You know, what mosque do you go to? I'm inquiring. There is the social media guidelines that the minister in the Nation of Islam gave us. Let's follow it.
That's it.
How to have decent conversation. You can ask certain questions, etc. Now I see that, okay, let's say, for instance, that the sister said, you know, brother, and what city are you in? You know, let's say there's a vibe that there's an interest. Now, the first thing to establish is what city you in, sister, what city you in, brother. And then now you go and follow the structure. After a few details or whatever the case may be that you've inquired about, keeping it very decent, very respectful, very godly. And now you know that the sister's in city such and such, Atlanta, and this brother is over here in, you know, Chicago, else, whatever the case may be. And so now he can follow the structure by going to his protocol within his student laboring body. Say, look, there's a sister over here, XYZ. I'm interested, and I would like to put the paperwork in to inquire, you know, to start. That's how I would do it. I'm gonna say this. I gotta keep it 100. I know this is a show.
Come on with it, man. Come on with it.
Hey, I told y'all that's just the way I have to be. The other day, my wife and I were talking to our 18-year-old son. So of course, you know, conversations about relationship. We know he'll probably like somebody, he's gonna like somebody, but we're talking about qualifying self, etc., right? And I was telling him, we're sharing stories when, you know, his mom and I, when we were younger, you know, we got married when we were, I think, 25 years old. And we're talking about the different things that we witness that people would do in stepping outside of the guidelines. Now, I'm saying that to say that we're not perfect. We are always asking Allah for his mercy because all of us are sinners.
Absolutely.
At the same time, there are things that we have to take a stand on to do the best that we can to hold to our spiritual structure. There's a benefit when we follow the divine guidelines into peace. deviation from that brings chaos. So I was telling our son, I remember one time, you know, my wife had quite a bit of brothers who were interested in her. Lord have mercy. That's another story. You know, and I took a certain stance. Because I've always been the kind of person, I don't like when all attention is on one person and I'm just following the crowd. I don't like that. So I pull back. And I remember one time it was said to me, you know, you're not interested in, you know, sister. I said, yes, I am. But then how come you're not doing the same thing the other brothers doing? I said, because I believe that if it's meant to be, it will be. And so there was a guest that would come to the mosque in the city that I was in. It's not here in Florida. It was a different mosque. Lost found guests that would come and whatnot. You know, there were some single women, and then I was single at the same time. And there was a brother who came to me. He said, I need to talk to you. And he shook my hand. And when he shook my hand, he put something in my hand. And I was like, oh, what's that, brother? And I looked, and it was a piece of paper, and it had a lost found sister's name and phone number in it. And I asked the brother, I said, brother, what is this? He said, oh, brother, you know, that sister's interested in you. She saw you in the mosque, and so she told me and then to give that to you. I said, nah, brother. Are you acting like my brother right now? You know our standard. Mm. What if I'm a weak brother? You just help me to get weaker. Mm-hmm. There's a standard. We have a structure. And the structure is, okay, if the sister's coming in, well, let her go into her class that would teach her about womanhood. And if she comes through, everything is fine, then we could probably enter into a courtship and inquire more and whatnot. But these side things that we're doing, social media, holler me on the DM. What the heck is that? And then we're wondering why we got problems. Mm-hmm. Then come to find out, you know, this is, oh, I'm telling you, that sister, she's a for real sister. I'm telling you, that brother's a for real brother. How you know? And come to find out, it's a profile done by the enemy, invented a name of a Muhammad, invented a name of a brother Muhammad, a sister Muhammad. So now all side things going to the side. So now, what's that man who owns Facebook? Zuckerberg? Zuckerberg is your captain now.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Brother, y'all courting? Yep. You ask another city, when did you put the paperwork in? We ain't got no paperwork. Where'd you put the paperwork in? Oh, on the DM.
Zuckerberg.
So there's a social media courtship now. And it's not even a courtship. So we have to get it together to go back to the standard of the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad under the divine leadership of the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and have faith and be patient, stand on our spiritual ground, and Allah will send us the right one for us. So if that was me, I would inquire. If I was, you said the question, if I was a single brother, I would inquire to say what mosque she in, what city. And by the way, I remember I told my wife this, and this is before we got married. I said, look here, because I was married before and didn't work. This is my second marriage. And it worked, praise be to Allah. Going on 25 years. Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah.
So I say that to say, I was like, I want to be with an MGT. I respect and honor anyone, but I got to be with an MGT. So which means I had to put a standard on me.
That's right.
Am I perfect? Absolutely not. Am I a sinner? We all are. But we should be striving to at least do the best that we can to hold on to the mighty rope of Allah that never breaks. So that's what I would say. Our brothers disappeared in our sister. That's what happened. I answered his question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we just we'd like to thank them for coming on and speaking about their experience at the retreat. But as we get ready to close, we just wanted to sum up. We had two more questions from the chat group, and one of them was Sister asks, I was told that the messenger said to allow your friends and family to help pick you out a mate. And she was saying it kind of makes sense, being that they know your likes and dislikes. And if you could add to that, the importance of meeting one's parents, their family, not the children, but the actually parents and adult members of their family.
I've never heard that pertaining to the messenger saying that. I'm not saying it's not, but I've never heard it myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't, validate it or invalidate it. From my perspective, once, we're in a relationship, you definitely do want to meet each other's family. Because when you meet the family, Allah gonna show you a sign of how your family gonna be. I see our brother Marcus.
What's funny, brother Marcus?
So here's brother Patrick. You just see brother Patrick. You don't know nothing about my aunt, my uncle, and whatnot. It would be wise if I'm single and Sister Elia, my wife, is single. It would be wise for my wife to meet my family.
Meet your people.
Meet my people. Come to the house, have a gathering and whatnot, because they raised me.
Yes.
And I'm going to have certain ways and habits of, the family. If you go in the house and, she's courting, her and I are courting, right? And then he was like, oh my God, he is so quiet. He's so peaceful. And then one day she got to meet the family. We meet, and everybody, mama, grandmama, grandpa, everybody's cussing every minute. Mother dish. And I'm the only one who's just
peaceful.
Okay. She better said, Mama, does he cuss? Yeah, he do all the time, girl. What you here?
Find out his nickname.
So I would highly encourage. I'm not saying because there's a certain way that you're going to be the exact way, but I would highly encourage that you meet the family.
Praise be to Allah. We have one of our guest hosts, Brother Marcus Muhammad. Brother Marcus has been married over 32 years. He's
30, just 30 by the
30.
Yeah, just 30, not 32.
We adding, bro.
That's right.
We added those 2 years of courtship and those 2 years that he provides marriage counseling to many of our people. He's publisher of over 11 books.
15, sir.
15
yes,
books.
Sir.
What's the day's mathematics, brother?
Oh man. This topic is wonderful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Thank you for joining us, bro. Thank you for joining us.
Salam alaikum, brother minister. How you doing?
Alaikum salam, my brother. I'm good. Now I see you too.
Man, brother, it's good to see you again. May Allah bless you and bless your ministry 1,000-fold.
All praise due to Allah. Likewise for you, my brother. I was just telling everybody, man, we thank Allah so much for you and Sister Cecilia for this ministry
love
of love, this ministry of marriage, this ministry of striving to bring our brothers and sisters together. This is a ministry in itself. So I greet you as well, brother student minister Marcus. And student, I know your wife not here, but you give her the greetings too.
I will tell her you sent your love and greetings.
Yeah, because she got on the roster, boy. She was teaching. I was like, I don't need to go up there.
Yeah. She's a fireball. She's a real fireball. And I just wanted to say to you all, Assalamu alaikum. How y'all doing?
Fine, bro.
So good to be here, brothers.
Thank you.
Praise belongs to Allah.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for introducing it was your vision of dealing with the singles retreat that we're here talking about tonight. So thank you. And thank your family for their sacrifice and their vision and the work that you guys put in to make all this possible.
Praise belongs to Allah. We got more coming, y'all.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yes. And we need to support this. We really do. You could count me in as an advocate.
Right.
For these kind of things. Because Brother Marcus would tell you, when we were putting the events together, we ran into some, turmoils. But it was the whole thing was about pushing it forward. And I really, one thing I admire about the way you and your wife work together, you plan it way in advance. Oh man, we need that. So
yes,
that was beautiful.
Brother Marcus, since you're
sir.
on, we have a question from our guest who says, we all know friendship is best for longevity in marriage.
Yes.
Okay. Should you become friends before or during courtship?
Well, I think you become friends during courtship. As the brother develops feelings for the sister, as the sister develops feelings for the brother, then naturally friendship happens. And you should be, as you grow, and don't understand this, that you're not going to be instant friends. It takes a while. It's a process. That's what I want you to understand. All of it, every relationship that you in, you didn't become great friends right away. It takes a while. It takes a process. Don't negate the process to courtship and becoming friends, and then maybe feeling so good about her and feeling so good about him that you could become a family again. You could introduce marriage into the equation. We need to get together, sister. We need to get together, brother, and get married. We ain't get no younger. We might as well do it. That's what the song said.
That's what the song said. Yes, sir.
But I can tell you that, I think a lot of times we rush friendship. Friendship takes time.
Come on.
It takes getting to know each other, getting to know that my insecurities, my frailties. If you don't know your friend's insecurities, their frailties, is this really your friend? We really have to spend time with each other. Maybe we want a courtship where we don't talk at all. A lot of us are afraid to talk, but communication is the lifeblood of a friendship, the lifeblood of a marriage. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan said that there is no relationship without communication. We must communicate. And I tell you, brother, when we were in Miami, Florida, we talked a lot about in our men's class. We talked about wonderful topics that concern us as men. And I was just so blown away by our brother Minister Patrick and his oratory on the future marriages that will take place because we came to Miami. You know, I understand, Brother Minister, we had 13 courtships to come out of Miami, Florida. I was so astounded. I was so blown away that we're helping Minister Farrakhan to introduce each other to each other. I love it. I love it. And I want to do more. I can't wait till we get the young people together to do their activity. We're having something down the road, a piece, but it'll be this year, Allah willing. We're having something, but it will only be for 21 years old.
That's
to
right.
35. Not nobody older than 21 to 35, because a lot of older brothers come to these conferences, these events, and they want younger sisters, and the younger sisters say, you better ask my daddy, you know. You know who's my daddy, you know, and they don't want older men. They want younger men, and I think that we have to have something just for them, 21 years old to 35, a conference for them, and that's coming this year, Allah willing. We're going to do that. So we just have to work with the city in the 7th region. We want a warm climate to do it in, and I think that we've talked about a city, Minister, but I want to announce it here. But we're going to do something wonderful, and then we also we're Allah willing, in September, I think we're coming to Philadelphia. We have not solidified the date yet, but look out for that in Philly as well. So we are striving for DC. We're striving for New York City. Allah willing, we're working hard to make Minister Farrakhan's words manifest. He said to us that we should use the mosque, we should use the study groups as, he said we should set up an environment where we could meet each other. And he said the proper place is not the club.
Right.
You know, sipping on some bub.
Right.
You know?
Brother,
he says, I got what you need if you need to feel a buzz. We're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. We are going to do a righteous environment. That's what we hope we prepared down there in Miami, a righteous environment.
Hey, brother Marcus, I had a brother that asked about putting on more socials. Can brothers and sisters reach out to you and assist you in these and get ones started in other cities?
Please do. I'm at 770-256-8856. 770-256-8856. That is my number. I'll always answer it, except that you don't call me now. Don't call me now. But after the show is over or tomorrow, whenever, we'd be very happy. You can also visit our website where we have the 11 books that we wrote for you, family, love, honor, respect. We have Muslim prices. Muslim. We understand that you might be on a tight budget.
The hookup.
We got the hookup. Holla if you hear me.
Holla if you hear me.
We got $10 a book.
Right.
And we got books for singles. And our newest book for singles is on the red flags that you should look out for, because brothers need to know the red flags that you can have with the sister too. You got a lot to lose if you choose wrong, brother. There you go, brother. You got the book right there.
Right.
What that website, Brother Mark?
It's www.themarriagekeepers.com. It's www.themarriagekeepers.com. www.minister.com, and we would be very happy to service you and do what we need to do to make progress with you. And I can just tell you that we have to really be brave in 2023.
Come on, man.
And I can tell you, you know, I don't know how you brothers are still single. I don't know how you do it.
Get off that chair, Carly. Get up, Carly.
Man, he just said he having a single social for 35 and below.
I don't know how you all are doing it with all these wonderful angels walking around every mosque, every study group in the nation of Islam. If there's not one in your city, then go to another city and marry one of them. You can't have 5 or 6 of them. You can only have one of them. And there's a sister out there in the nation for you.
And you know, Brother Marcus, just to let you know that my wife and I, we on board to support other events forthcoming.
Yes,
and
sir.
we also have, like, I think 4 of our young people, they said that whenever it comes for that age bracket to do, they want to help work along with you and Sister Cecilia.
Absolutely.
Be part of, you know, ideas, and you know how the youth, you know, think, and they're vibrant. But we just want y'all to know that we are very supportive. My wife said she coming.
Oh, praise is due to Allah. It's going to be in her area, so she should come.
Yeah, you already know that. Yeah.
Oh, praise is due to Allah. I can't
And
wait.
I'm gonna tell you, you all started something in here, you know, and this is, I believe that with the help of Allah, you know, we're gonna pray to Allah, you know, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad for the success of this.
Yes,
you know, and we just gotta, sometime, even when things start slow, it just has to have a momentum.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Now look at his more momentum. And Allah, God, works through men and women. He's working on this note through Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia, who have a passion for this. Man, I just want to hang out with y'all and support. That's all I want to do.
Man, we love y'all, and we thank Allah for every blessing that He sends our way. But we want you all to know that we have the 13th annual marriage retreat coming up. And we've been doing this, Brother Minister, for 13 long years. And we started out in Tennessee, and we moved it to the Caribbean. We went to Jamaica next. We went to let me see. The 4th one was held again in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. The 5th one was held in Los Angeles, California. The 6th one was held in Atlanta, Georgia. The 7th one was held in Chicago, Illinois. The 8th one was held in Jacksonville, Florida. The 9th one was held in New York City. No, wait, no, that wasn't the 9th one, was it? I don't know. It was the 9th or the 10th one. Yeah, the 9th one was held in New York City. The 10th one was held via the internet because of COVID and whatnot. 11th one was held via the internet as well. But the 12th one was held in St. Louis, Missouri. And this 13th one, we're very happy to announce to you, it's going to be held in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix. Oh my God, Phoenix is, man, they've been so helpful to me, the laborers there. And I'm so happy that we're going to get to see everybody again and to hug each other. And it's all love, because we're the married couples. We got married couples in every mosque. We are a force that should be doing more than what we're doing. And I'm just calling us out to help Minister Farrakhan in the work that he's trying to get done among our people. And brother, sister, come on and let's get together in Phoenix, Arizona, if you in a marriage and it's going very well,
Right.
you should still come to Phoenix, Arizona, because I can guarantee you what you're going to learn is going to be so cutting edge for your marriage. The questions that we have, because this year in particular, I'm about to graduate, Allah willing, from my college, Indiana Wesleyan University, and I got some questions that are dynamite for your marriage, for your relationship. It will help you to love deeper. It will help you to go deeper with her,
Wow,
with
word.
him.
Yes.
Oh my God! Ooh, I'm excited just thinking about what's going to happen in Phoenix, Arizona. I just want y'all to come. You've been sitting around for years looking at the work that Allah is blessing us to do. You've been sitting around watching us work. Why don't you come and see what we're doing?
Right.
It's nothing like it in the nation.
Yes, sir.
We are helping the minister in a major way. All praise is due to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. Thank you, Brother Marcus. Thank
Yes.
you, brother. Thank you, brother Mr. Patrick. Thank you, brother Mr. Marcus. We could be here all night. There's so much information and knowledge we could share, but we have to close in this portion of our show. We like to go around and give closing remarks to our listening audience. So if we can start, Brother Patrick, with you, please.
Yes, I want to read something by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Quote, I want to see successful marriage in the Nation of Islam
Yes, he does.
and among Black people. Marriage in Islam starts with the recognition that we are not complete without a woman or without a man if you are a woman. But the critical part of male-female relationships is in setting up a social context where men and women can meet each other
Yes.
under proper circumstances that do not degenerate into vile speech or actions.
Come on now.
Every mosque should set up proper social circumstances for single brothers and single sisters to meet each other. By the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's my closing comment.
Every mosque.
Yes, sir.
Every mosque.
Praise
Every
be to
mosque.
Allah.
Not just Miami. Do it in your mosque. Do it in your city.
Right.
Do something for the singles. The single believers are tired of having to travel here, travel there for companionship. They want it to be in their city too. So
Yeah.
come on, let's get it done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But brother, Mr. Patrick, we shouldn't wait for the laborers to do it. There's so much talent in the race. Just stand up.
Man,
Bring
look,
your
put a team together.
Put
right.
a team
Put a
together.
team together. It's like, if you want to do something for a fundraiser, you
Right.
should have a fundraising committee.
Right.
So why not put a committee? Put a single social committee. Put a marriage committee. You can do it.
Right.
Work together, work collectively. And
Right.
as a student laborer, in my opinion, if he's a student minister or a captain, whatever, that student minister or any student laborer should be praying to Allah to work in unity and look for the skills and talents in every single brother and sister and allow them to breathe to do things so that they will not be captive believers.
That's
They
right.
got talents, they got skills. Let's work together. Man, let's go ahead and save the family.
Come
We
on,
all we
man.
got.
That's right.
Absolutely, Brother Minister. That
Yes,
is so
All
powerful.
praise due to Allah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Brother Marcus. Brother Minister Marcus, excuse me.
Brother, all I can say to you is that we have to unite to make this progress that Minister Patrick is talking about. I'm not sure what's in our way, but we have to move it out of our way, blow it up if we have to, because we have to unite the male and the female together and make them stick together like glue. A thing that we realized before we started any of this is how we got married. We got married at 19 years old, brother. Ahmed. We were married at 19, but we didn't know what we were doing. We were just ordinary people, Brother Jackie. We didn't know which way to go. We did not know. So we got some Minister Farrakhan tapes. We got the secrets to successful marriage. We got domestic violence part 1 and 2. We got all of these information gathering giving tapes that he did, and we studied them, and we have knowledge. That's why I went back to school to learn how to help Minister Farrakhan. I'm trying to help him do something great, and by uniting the family again. A lot of times we get married, we are happy to get married for a minute, but then when we run into trouble, we don't know what to do. So now we are trying to help couples through the counseling that we do. We are trying to help everybody to have longevity in their marriage. I want to have a 40, 50, 60, 70, 80-year marriage. Like, our minister is coming up on 70 years of marriage. Whew.
Allah.
That's powerful, brothers. That's powerful. He been doing it for 70 years, and we ain't even get started yet.
What you shot?
I don't understand for the life of me why you are not married. It's the best thing we got going in the Nation of Islam is to get married. That makes you a person who's very happy. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome, Brother Ahmed. Ahmed.
Get him.
Oh, brother Kawi.
I want you to know. I just want you to know, Brother Ahmed, I met 5 sisters
Get him.
who kept bothering me about where you were at the singles event. They kept saying, "Where's Ahmed? Brother Marcus, don't you see him sometimes? Don't you know who he is? I see him on the internet all the time. Where is he at?" I said, I don't know. I don't know if he's coming or not. They kept asking me up until Sunday. They kept asking me, "Were you coming? Were you going to make a guest appearance, Brother Ahmed?"
He didn't make an appearance?
Bro Patrick, he likes to inspire me. This is just inspirational talk.
He didn't make an appearance?
That's what he's supposed to
He
do.
didn't make an appearance,
He
brother.
didn't make an appearance?
5 sisters asking about you. 5.
What's the day's mathematics, brother?
Oh my God, they love you, Brother Ahmed.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah.
And we had about 10 of them with him.
No.
All those beautiful sisters down there in Miami. 10. They was all around Kwawe. I was checking them out. I was looking at him at the side of my eye. And he had his whole, you couldn't even see Kwawe no more. There was sisters all around him, all around, in every shade. They were all around him.
Angels.
Angels. That's what I saw. And I didn't even think about him no more because I said, I know out of all these sisters, he gonna find one to be with him.
Well, the truth is, they was around me asking about Ahmed. I kept telling him he was going to show up, but he just didn't show up. So
He didn't make an appearance?
He didn't make an appearance. He did not.
Man.
So the next one, Brother Ahmed,
Yes, sir.
maybe you can make an appearance.
Yes, sir.
All
Front
right.
and center. I'll be there front and center.
Praise the
It
living
is
God.
the time and what must be done.
That's right.
We gotta make it uncomfortable for all you single brothers in the Nation of Islam. We
You
gotta
made
make
it very
this
uncomfortable.
the way I felt the first couple of weeks I entered into the nation. I saw all these brothers, everybody had a wife.
Yeah.
All these brothers was getting married.
Yes, sir.
And it came time for Thanksgiving. And I remember specifically, I stopped at the table and the brother asked me what I was having for Thanksgiving dinner. I said, I think I'm having some turkey franks. 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 And the brother proceeded to tell me what he was going to be eating for Thanksgiving. And he laid it out, brother.
No, sir.
And he said, all of this comes when you're married, brother. Are you married, Brother Marcus? I said, no, sir.
Mm.
And I went home to my Franks and beans. I'm just trying to tell you, I was miserable as a single man.
Mm.
I don't know why y'all. I don't know why you not miserable with all the beauty, all the beautiful sisters that want you. They want you. They need you.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And you know, I have to say this. You know, one of the highlights for me for this social event, I did not know how much of a comedian that Brother Marcus and his wife are.
Right,
Oh my Allah. I mean, if you don't do nothing else, just book them to come into your city. Because that brother and sister had me laughing. I mean, pulled to the side and talk some real talk, and the way he interacted, Allah has given you all something, you know, really. And they really, everybody was so uptight. They broke the ice. They melted the ice. And next thing you know, I mean, brother was trying to sit over there, and sister, she was like, hold on, we're gonna change this here. Sister, sit over here, brother. I mean, it was beautiful, beautiful,
Yes,
all put together, and it just had people to be engaged with one another. And those courtship canes by Sunday, y'all remember, brothers, by Sunday after the mosque, I got all the brothers together. I said, now, brothers, I just want to know how many of you all are willing to put paperwork in. Every brother that was in the circle, to the best of my recollection, raised their hand. And Brother Philip just sent me a picture with all the brothers with their hands up. I said, see, that's what I'm
Don't show that picture.
Don't show it till your hand was up. Praises due to Allah.
Let me tell you.
Brother Kwame, you were going to ask for another sister.
Whoa!
Uh-oh.
Sister, you was going to ask for Brother Kwame?
Oh. Let me turn this up.
Wait.
Come on, Brother Kwame. This is your opportunity to ask for her.
This is a live broadcast.
This
This
is
is live.
Oh man. Well, Brother Marcus gonna shoot, brother. You already know.
I already know, bro.
He
I'm
gonna
trying to
shoot.
hook him up, Brother Minister. I'm trying to hook him up.
That's right, brother. Yes, sir.
No such thing as cold feet, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
man.
right.
He was talking good, Brother Minister.
Yeah.
He was talking good like he was going to do it.
Woo! Call him out.
Well, but thank you so much, my brothers. It was
Brother
Thank
Kawi
you.
want his closing remarks. Brother Kawi,
Closing remarks, Corey.
he can't talk right now, brother.
I'm fine. First of all, I have one of your success stories in the green room, Sister Regina.
Oh, okay.
She want to give she give him the greetings.
She's on. Oh, she was on mute.
Oh yeah, she is on the green room. Yes, sir.
Alaikum.
Well, alaikum salam, sister. How you doing?
Yeah.
She's on
I'm
mute.
fine by Allah's grace and mercy. Thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful single social. It was a blessing. Praise be
Allahu
to
Akbar.
Allah.
Thank you,
Oh,
sister.
I just realized.
You know who that is. You know who
Wait
she
a
is.
minute. All that time, it just now dawned on me. Sister Regina, you're courting, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Oh, and this, oh, brother, and this, okay. Now I got it. All right. Okay. Yes. Yes. All right. Now I'm gonna stay quiet. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. Yeah, okay. All praise is due to Allah. It just now dawned on me. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, may Allah bless you all to learn about each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Keep us in prayer. Yes, sir.
I
Thank
surely
you.
will.
Thank you. Yes, we're
But
doing
I'm
well.
proud to look
Praise
at
be
all these
to Allah.
handicapped brothers in the ranks.
praise be to Allah. Thank you, Sister Regina.
Also, that comment that you read, the words of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, that answered Brother Kadir's question perfectly. I believe he mentioned that the minister wanted single socials in every mosque, and so when
Every
you read
mosque.
that does bear witness to his memory. Man, the energy. I just want to say the energy that y'all have right here on the podcast. When Brother Marcus, Mr. Patrick, when they get together, it is this type of energy. It was like that the entire weekend. It's something about y'all when you two mix.
All praise due to
It just go through the roof, man. So it's good to see y'all have this type of chemistry. Brother Marcus, you really broke the ice because everybody was uptight. Didn't know y'all made brothers sit next to sisters. Y'all made brothers do skit. It was a force. It was forced, family, but it broke the ice, and it was a good time. I think that going forward, if you are still single at the next single social, I pray that you can get it together to the point where you can go and enjoy yourself. And
Yes,
so,
sir.
thank you, brother, student Miss Patrick. I mean,
Thank you. All
you
praise
kicked
to
out a
Allah.
lot of wisdom there, a lot.
All praise
A lot
due
of
to
wisdom.
Allah.
I think I forgot most of it. I mean, I just had to take the stuff that fit me, but you kicked out a lot, and I
All
know
praise
that everybody took a piece of what you gave out. So.
All praise due to
Yes, that Sunday
I just
lecture
wanted
was
to say
outstanding.
to everyone, and thank you, Brother Kawi, for having me on your show, Brother Ahmed, Brother Jackie. It is a pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you, my dear brother Marcus. You my spiritual brother. We
Love you, brother.
we
Thank
don't connect, man. We don't connect, And to our dear sister, may Allah bless you into your courtship. May Allah bless our mighty nation. And I look forward to continue to serve my brothers and sisters. And I love you all. Let's help the Messiah of Allah's Christ.
Allahu Akbar. Thank you.
All right, Brother Jackie.
I just have a short reading. I want to read this scholarly quote.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why you brothers. I don't know why you brothers not married, brother. It's to my turkey hot dog eating brothers. Hey, what you eating for Thanksgiving? No, but look, brother. Brother, I'm telling you, brother. Thank you all for the wonderful, wonderful podcast highlighting the joys of marriage. When in our community is always frowned upon.
Yes.
We want to thank you all for highlighting the joys of marriage and making marriage so appealing.
Yes.
This is exactly what our community needs. So Jock Nation, thank you all for supporting. Let's like and share this video. I mean, we have to get this out to our community because we must change the narrative. So
yes.
Thank you all for such wonderful input. Thank you, Brother Marcus, for shooting, for being a straight shooter, and thank you, Brother Patrick, for highlighting the value of spirituality, communication, and everything that you highlighted. All right, so
thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
All right, thank you all. Thank you all for taking time out of your schedules. I'm sorry we went over a little late. We didn't want to really hold y'all, but this information was powerful. And tune in. We'll have more upcoming events, more upcoming shows dealing with the singles retreats and the marriage retreats, and just sharing information and knowledge and opportunities for us to come together at these events. So stay tuned. Reach out to Brother Marcus. Reach out to us at jockbrothersviewers@gmail.com, and we'll share any information that we have for any upcoming events. And let's all network. We're all family. Praise be to Allah. Thank you all for coming on. Good night.
Good night.